Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about some vampire books that I hauled to read for the spooky season. Now this is very ambitious of me and I know I'm probably not gonna read them all, but I wanted to share them all with you. So these are just some books that I have collected, either have purchased from like Barnes & Noble, Book Outlet. There is a Second and Charles near where I live. Well, not really close, but close-ish to where I live, where I've purchased some of these books. Target. And I don't think I got any of these from Tango, but I do have a couple from Aardvark. So without further ado, let's get into it. I'm not going to go in any particular order. Just going to grab some books at random. So first book I have is the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I have not read a single book by Grady Hendrix. The first book I actually purchased of his was Witchcraft for Wayward Girls, I believe that's the title of it. So I don't know. I've heard good things about this book and about the witchcraft book, so this looks to be rather interesting, so I am looking forward to read this whenever we get into it. I don't know much about it other than this woman seems to be going through like a midlife crisis, and the only thing that's like keeping her going is her book club. So I'll be interested to see her story. The next ones I purchased back in January at Target. I was just kind of like perusing their book section, and I believe this is a trilogy. I don't think there's going to be any more than 3 books. I think the 3rd book comes out in November. But we have The Coven and The Curse by Harper Woods. I've seen mixed things about these books, so not exactly sure what they're going to be like, but I'm going to read them and determine that for myself. But what really got me were the sprayed edges. I am a sucker for a cover and some sprayed edges. I don't think there's nothing on the hardback under the slip covers. Just plain black, but they do have like the red roses and the, I don't know what kind of flower that is, on the end papers in the books. So we'll see how I like the first book. If I liked the first book, then I'll read the second book, and depending on what I feel about that, will determine if I pick up the 3rd book or not. Another series that I have heard great things about is none other than the Crowns of Nyaxia series. You have book 1 and book 2 of the Nightborn duet. I don't really know much about this. I try not to read or listen to reviews about this book, obviously, because I haven't read it yet and I don't want to be spoiled. I just know it's like a human girl that was adopted by a vampire king. Vampire king adopted her? Yeah, it looks like. So, I've heard great things about this series. I think there's 3 duets in total, or maybe more, so I'm not sure. But the first book is The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and then the second one is The Ashes and the Star-Crossed King. So, another book I got at Target during my perusing of the book section is Masters of Death by Olivie Blake. I was really, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess, I was, I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for. The cover and the sprayed edges caught my eye. And it says forever is a gift and a curse. So then I read the back, and it just sounds like it's going to be a fun time. So our main girl that we're following, she is a struggling real estate agent, and she's also a vampire. She is trying to sell this house, but it's haunted. And the ghost is refusing to move on. So she seeks out the help of Fox, who is a medium, to help her with the ghost infestation. So we follow her trying to get her haunted house unhaunted so she can sell it. So it sounds like it is going to be good. I did read like the first page, and it sounds like it's going to be a good time. So looking forward to reading this. I saw this book at Barnes & Noble, and it had the sprayed edges that had like blood coming down. I didn't pick it up when I first saw it because I already had a handful of books, and I was like, I'm not going to read it right now, so I'll wait to pick it up. Well, when I went back to get it, all the books that had the sprayed edges were sold out. It's okay. I don't need a book with sprayed edges, but I liked it. This is Blood on Her Tongue by Johanna von Veen. And this story follows two twin sisters. The one sister, Sarah, is unwell. She's like living somewhere away from her sister Lucy, who gets a note saying that Lucy needs to come quick because her sister's unwell. And so when Lucy arrives, she tries to keep her from being put into a lunatic asylum. So I think it's like a story of possession, maybe, or like she's turned into a vampire. I'm not really sure how she comes to the state that she's in where like she's not eating regular food. I'm actually looking forward to reading this book. I've seen other booktubers who have read this and said they really enjoyed it. They liked the story. They liked the way it was written. So excited for that. A book I purchased last year and have yet to read is Immortal Dark by, is it Tigest Girma? I know the second book is coming out really soon. I got this from Book Outlet, and I liked the sprayed edges. No soul can enter without an invitation. And I like the end pages, like a library card. Very cool. I don't really know much about this, to be honest. It says a lost heiress, a soulless vampire, a secret drenched in blood. So we'll learn what the secret is, I guess, and read about the story. Looks like they're in some kind of university. So I'm excited to read this book, even though I haven't picked it up in over a year, but interested to see how the story turns out. Then another book I got from Book Outlet is House of Hunger by Alexis Henderson. And this is about bloodmaids. Yes, wanted. Bloodmaid of exceptional taste. Must have a keen proclivity for life's finer pleasures. Girls of weak would need not apply. A young woman is drawn to the upper echelons of a society where blood is power in this dark and enthralling gothic novel. So we'll see how that turns out. I just finished An Education on Malice by S.T. Gibson and really enjoyed that, which is also a vampire novel. I really enjoy S.T. Gibson's writing, so I'm looking forward to reading more of her books. But I heard Alexis Henderson is also a great writer as well. I have another book of hers, which you'll see in a later haul. And then winding down to our last 3 vampire books. These next 2 I received in my aardvark box. The most recent one for September was Coffin Moon. I was really excited when I saw this as an option because I had it on my TBR list for the fall season. So when I saw that we could choose this, I was immediately putting it in my box. So this is Coffin Moon by Keith Rawson. Look how cool that cover is. The road with the skull. It takes place in 1975. And we're following our main character, Dwayne, who is working in a bar, and a vampire walks in and ruins his life. So, very interesting sentence in a synopsis. Can't wait to read that. I got, when was my first box? July? I think my first box was July. So I got Mistress of Lies by K.M. Enright. This is book 1 of the Age of Blood duology. The second one is out. I can't think of the name of that book. I will put it up here in the video. Something about liars. So I had, when I was looking through like lists about books coming out this year, this was one on my list. I don't remember what the synopsis is about. I do remember reading it when I first looked it up, and it sounded interesting. Like there's power, politics, so I was like, yeah, sounds good. So got that one. And then last but not least, this book has been all over BookTube, Bookstagram, you name it, you've seen it, and that is Bury Your Bones in the Midnight Soil by B.E. Schwab. I got this from Target, I believe, and it is signed copy. This is a sapphic love story told over 3 different timelines, so you get 3 different perspectives of vampires. From what I understand, it's like a toxic love story with these 3 vampires. So really excited to see how this story plays out. I've heard nothing but great things about this, so super excited to read these. And like I said, there's a lot of books here just on vampires. I have a lot more books that I have purchased for the spooky season that I would like to read. So I don't think I'll read all of these, but it's nice to have the options. But these are books that I can read all year. Like I don't need to read them in a certain season, but it's nice to have options. So if you made it this far, thank you so much. Let me know down in the comments if you've read any of these books, and what your favorite vampire story is, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!